So the markets are down this morning, maybe falling from their own weight. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because of the September blahs. Maybe it's the PCE coming up later this week. Maybe it's because people are worried about a government shutdown. Maybe. We'll talk about a couple of the other reasons that people are talking about this morning. But right now, it just kind of feels like there's no reason for it to go up. Tesla is down, but actually heading toward the green. It's acting contra to the rest of the market, at least in the early going, and it should be. It has plenty of good news. It has plenty of reasons to go up. We'll discuss some of those as well. This is Randy Kirk. If you like the morning show, hit like just to make me feel good, just to make me feel like it's worth getting up an hour before my normal clock gets up so I can get this news out to you every day. And please hit notify because, I got Larry Goldberg tomorrow. He may or may not be on tomorrow. I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. He says he has really good stuff. Brian Wong is at Fusion Show, plus LK99 has some stuff that you want to know about. Anyway, great shows coming up this week. And then we'll talk about, Patreon later. Okay. Some are saying that this is the article that might be the reason the markets are so cranky this morning. It's from Barron's, and it's about Jamie Dimon. Investors need to be prepared for 7% interest rates, and most of them aren't. I think he's talking about the Fed might raise interest rates to 7%. That's the stark warning from JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon over potential risks for the U.S. economy. Dimon's view comes as something of a surprise, considering the Federal Reserve recently held interest rates that range between 5.25 and 5.5. And most analysts expect only one more rate hike at most. In fact, most don't think there's going to be that. However, the bank chief suggested current optimism might be based on a sugar high from monetary and fiscal stimulus, and that rates could need to go up further. Going from 0 to 5 caught people off guard, but no one would have taken 5% out of the realm of possibility. Well, I think most people did. I'm not sure if the world is prepared for 7%, he said in an interview with the Times of India. Dimon said 7% interest rates were a worst case scenario if stagflation, a situation of rising prices coupled with no or low economic growth, sets in. Well, I'm a great admirer of Jamie Dimon, but I don't see where the inflation is going to come from. If the economy continues to get slower, we have even less of a chance of inflation. I know we've seen stagflation in the past, but I don't see what's going on here. I feel like Jamie Dimon is doing some needless fear mongering at this point. I don't see, this is like completely the opposite of everything that I would be expecting right now. And in fact, Trueflation is still showing this morning about 2.55 with nothing, zero, except for oil, as we've mentioned many, many times, as an issue going forward. On the other hand, Dimon says nothing about the 7% happening in treasuries due to supply demand. I mean, this could be the real problem, would be not that the Fed would raise to 7%. The real problem could be that nobody is going to buy the bonds. And if nobody buys the bonds, the rates will keep going up and maybe they go to 7%. Anyway, that seems unlikely as well. I just thought I'd point out that I think the debt crisis is way more important right now than the inflation issue. Anyway, U.S. home prices, according to Case-Shiller, rose 1% year over year. Who would have told you that? I don't know. Maybe I would have said something. Anyway, and then they will continue, as I've said before, you'll probably see one more month of this. And then over the winter, at least month to month, I think you'll see prices coming down slightly over the winter, as always. And then next spring, they'll pop back up again based on supply demand, Econ 101. In Asia, the property developer China Evergrande missed another bond repayment. So that's another thing that's weighing the market, not feeling good about what's happening in China with their property. The other thing is that commercial property is back in the news again today because a lot of refinancing has to take place between now and the end of 2025. That's weighing. Again, I saw at least 3 articles talking about that subject, as there is a lot of concern about banks having a lot of that kind of debt, the regional banks. By the way, this is not a paid ad, but while we're talking about mortgages, my friend and client of 15 years, Bill Raymond, he is a client. He's just not paying for this ad. He's a client. Bill Raymond is the best mortgage lender you're going to find. So if you are in the market for a mortgage, he can do it in all 50 states. Call him at 310-453-4016. And let me remind you again about Shayla Chamberlain. If you're looking for a CPA or a CMA or both, she's amazing. She's so amazing that I had her co-author one of my books. I rarely reach out. As you know, I have co-authors in the Elon Musk mission, but she co-authored Making Money Out of Thin Air. What better idea could you have than that? But she's great whether you own a business or whether you're just looking for personal tax advice. Her number is 951-678-2969. And again, her information and Bill's information is in the description below. All right. The Kobiesi, I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce this if I'm going to be quoting him all the time. He says that U.S. Treasuries saw their 32nd straight week of inflows last week, by far the longest streak since 2008. This comes as a 10-year note yield pushed above 4.5, which I've been mentioning. That was kind of a place that looked like that it was going to hold, but if it didn't, that was not good news. For the first time since 2007, we talked about that the other day. U.S. deficit spending is a major impact on this. The U.S. is issuing over $10 billion per day in treasuries to cover deficit spending. Bond markets are being flooded with supply, which is driving rates higher. U.S. deficit spending is costing all borrowers more money. The yields on short-term bonds continue to get this incoming money, not the 10-year. So the 10-year continues to see yields climbing as investors shun that vehicle in favor of short-term action on the 2-year, the 2-month, etc. So that last paragraph was me. I need to make sure that you understand when I'm quoting people and when it's me. But anyway, that's how I see it. Is there's too many bond offerings right now compared to the people who want to put money in bonds. All of the money is flowing into the short term, not into the 10-year. So Elon adds Hungary to his list of recent meetings with top leaders. I still say he's got the Guinness Book of World Records. So he meets yesterday with the president premier. I'm not exactly sure what her title is, but anyway, he meets with Hungary yesterday. They weren't really talking about opening a plant in Hungary. They were talking about, I think, AI and other things of that nature. So Musk has taken on a very dangerous foe in the Anti-Defamation League. So he's been getting a lot of press the last couple of days, a lot of press. Now the ADL, they're marshaling their resources to try and get Disney, Apple, and others to stop advertising on Twitter. I'm not sure this is the best way to get what they want done. I think that Elon's just going to put his feet in the ground. I think he's going to say, you know what, if this is the way you're going to play, I'll just go after you more. This is just not good. Then on a related note, Lex Fridman did an interview with the president of FIRE, F-I-R-E, which points out they go around and they take a look at the cancel culture on the campuses in particular, but in general as well. And their concern is the very place you want to see freedom of speech, which is on the campuses, is the very place where the cancel culture is happening. And Elon pointed to this article. He mentioned it in X yesterday because it's a great conversation between Lex and the president of FIRE. Now, I know that this is not a topic for this show, but it's even still related to all this. Neuroscientist Mark Tisser Levine stepped down last month as president of Stanford University following years of criticism about data in his published studies. Post on PubPeer, a website where scientists dissect published studies, triggered scrutiny by the Stanford Daily. A university investigation followed, and 3 studies he co-wrote were retracted. He is one of multiple cases right now where scientists from major universities are falsifying their work and getting caught. our university system is in a real state of havoc. I guess I could say that all of this is related to this channel because our university system is a bedrock and has been a bedrock of an underpinning of the success of American business. We need to make sure that we don't have a university system that is cloistered, ivory towerized, which is where the concept even comes from, and doing stuff that is designed just to make professors rich rather than progressing our way of life and our information and our knowledge. It's a very, very sad state of affairs. Teslarati is reporting this morning that the Tesla Cybertruck units that are being called manufacturing confirmation builds are now being seen at the Giga Texas property. The company is revamping that factory to full production after a stoppage to upgrade lines. These units show impeccable build quality. And they're the best Cybertruck builds we have seen to date. Multiple sources are saying that CT production is imminent and that that Model Y production, the Model Y production should be up to normal rates next week with everyone back to work yesterday. More rumors coming of a Plaid Model 3 on its way to the Europe market. I am so sad that there's just no way I can buy a Plaid Model 3, even though I would certainly want to. For the week of September 18 to 24, China reported 13.3 thousand insurance registrations for Tesla, putting them back into a normal range after the changeovers there. So all the worries about China and Tesla production, forget it. Now, does that mean that the numbers aren't going to be really, really rough here at the end of the quarter? Yes, and that's part of the reason why Tesla's been down, because people are now building that in. But that's very short-sighted thinking. They're talking about the quarter that's over and not the record quarter that everybody agrees is going to happen in the fourth quarter. That might be why Tesla is going opposite of the market this morning. Positive articles in the mainstream press about Optimus. Multiple people talking about that video. But one hot headline even asked the question, does the market care? That's the question I keep asking, and I'm so confused. Forbes' Sally Percy is asking a different question this morning. She says, is Elon Musk the world's greatest leader? While she says it's impossible to deny Musk's phenomenal success, the jury is out on the quality of his leadership style. Not according to me, the Elon Musk method written 3.5 years ago. I point out 16, and there's more. I think I've now got at least 21, 22 different leadership styles where he's not just good. He's like the best in class, maybe ever. Anyway, she says Musk's confrontational, sometimes erratic behavior has even resulted in his management style being described as management by chaos. There's something to be said for management by chaos, but it's not in my list of 16. I'll be honest with you. While Musk's actions and words may not always be textbook leadership good practice, he nevertheless demonstrates some remarkable qualities as a leader. Really, these were qualities I discovered during the course of researching her latest book, 21st Century Business Icons, the Leaders Who Are Changing Our World. So the qualities are, number one, vision. Oh, no, really? Not vision. Yeah, I've talked about vision ad infinitum. Musk is undoubtedly a great visionary. This is the man who wants to put people on Mars, after all. He is able to paint a very vivid, inspiring picture of the future that he believes in, and this is what draws talented people to work for him and commit to the punishing hours that he demands of them. In other words, have a great vision, have the vision be clearly enunciated, succinctly and easily so that people can understand it, and then go out and tell your suppliers, your customers, your investors, make sure all of them are aware of what that vision is, and they will follow you. Yes, that is leadership. Where are the presidential leaders? Where are the visions there? What exactly is our president's leadership styles? Two, thirst for knowledge. Musk is effectively a self-taught rocket scientist who devours information. As a child, he plowed his way through encyclopedias. Musk's determination to learn and absorb new areas of knowledge explain why he's such an original thinker and revolutionary innovator. And then three, willingness to seek feedback. I've talked ad infinitum about what he's done on X and the fact that he loves X because he's actually getting to talk to the customer, actually talking to consumers, actually getting feedback, wants the feedback, asks for the feedback, asks for honest feedback. It's very hard when you are Elon Musk to get people to be honest with you, but that's what he wants. And then number 4, she gives us immense work ethic. If this kind of information is interesting to you, there's a book, The Elon Musk Method. Well, I did a unique, let's talk about that in a minute. Let's take a look, first of all, at where the markets are now. Okay. So Tesla, which was headed toward the green, is no longer headed toward the green. It's now going slightly negative again, but overall is still doing better than the markets, I believe. Here, let's take a quick look. Dow is down 0.5%. NASDAQ's down almost a full percent. S&P down 0.8%. Tesla down 1%. So yeah, it's right about equal to the NASDAQ right now. The rest of the Magnificent Seven are down more than Tesla, except for NVIDIA, which is down just less than Tesla. And the Cathie Wood stocks are mostly up, which is kind of interesting. I think, as much as I've talked about in the introduction today, that the weight, I feel the weight of the market dragging the market down, and it might just drop as a result of there being no real good news. I don't know. My real sense is that I would be buying this morning. If I was a day trader, I think I'd be buying this morning. That is not investment advice. Never take my investment advice. I'm not an investment, whatever they call it. Anyway, you should, let's look at the rest of the numbers here, though. Before I get confused here, we have the Bitcoin still trading right around 26. We have the dollar hitting 10-month high. We have gold down again, 1925. Now, that might be a new recent low. We have oil up slightly this morning, but actually, overall, it is now at 89.75. So under 90, that's actually kind of good news. I'd love to see it stay in the 80s, but I still think it's going to 100. And then bonds sitting at over 4.5 at 4.521, down a little bit on the 10-year. Let's see, the 2-month is up. The 2-year is up. Yeah, the 3-month is up. As mentioned earlier in what I was saying, is that the short terms are up. I'm sorry, that would mean, wait, it's so hard with bonds. You get it backwards. So the 10-year is dropping in the yield. That means people are buying the 10-year right now this morning. So the opposite of what's been happening recently, people are buying the 10-year, which is driving the interest rate down, and they're selling the shorter term, which is driving the interest rates up. Okay, so that's the opposite of what we've seen recently, and the opposite of what I said earlier in the show. So I think that is a good trend. I'd like to see that trend continue. Okay, where are the markets now? I just did that. I did a unique video yesterday, and people seem to really like it. I'll put the card right here. I was talking about my fear of missing out. My fear of missing out on the future. That's what I'm afraid of missing out on. Anyway, if you'd like to see that one, I'll put the card above. And then be sure to hit like and subscribe and notify. Again, Larry Goldberg coming, both of the Bryans coming. They're promising me outstanding commentary. So you don't want to miss that. Hey, it's been great talking to you today.